My name is Layla. For most of my life I thought I understood who God was. I was raised in a very devoted Muslim family where prayer was not a choice but the rhythm of our days. I wore my faith like armor. I believed that obedience and ritual would keep me close to the Creator. But inside, something was missing, a silence that grew deeper every year. Sometimes after evening prayer I would stare at the ceiling and whisper, "God, do you see me? Do you really know me?" I never told anyone those words. Everything changed one ordinary night this June. I had been sick for weeks. Fatigue, fever, a strange tightness in my chest. The doctors could not find what was wrong. My mother kept reciting verses over me. My father insisted it was spiritual. That night I tried to rest, but pain struck my chest so suddenly that I could not even call for help. The room spun, sound faded, and I knew I was slipping away. I felt my last breath leave, yet my mind was still awake. Then I was above my body, watching my parents rush in, my mother's hands shaking as she screamed my name. I felt no more pain, only a cold wind and a heavy quiet that pressed against my soul. Then the walls dissolved. The house disappeared and I was pulled through a tunnel that seemed alive with light. The air roared like 1,000 waters. I could hear voices, singing, crying, echoing in a language I did not know but somehow understood. At the end of that brightness stood a light so intense it hurt to look at, yet I could not turn away. It was not the light of the sun. It was alive, warm, holy, pure. In that brilliance I became aware of everything about myself. My thoughts, my pride, my doubts, my unbelief. All of it lay open like pages in a book. I tried to hide, but there was nowhere to run. Then I heard a voice call my name. The sound traveled through me, shaking every part of who I was. Layla. The voice was strong yet full of tenderness, like it had known me all my life. I asked, trembling, "Who are you?" Out of the light stepped a man clothed in white, his face shining so bright that I could hardly see his features. Yet when I looked at him I felt peace deeper than anything I had ever known. He said, "I am Jesus, the one who died for you." The moment he spoke those words, something broke inside me. I fell forward, crying. My mind raced. How could this be? I had been taught he was only a prophet, not the Son of God. I had argued about him, dismissed his followers and mocked his name. But here he was, alive before me. He stretched out his hand toward me, and when his light touched me, every lie I had believed melted away. Memories flooded me. A Christian classmate who once told me that Jesus loved me, a dream I had years ago where a man in white called my name, a video I once saw online about his crucifixion that stirred something in my heart before I quickly turned it off. He showed me each moment like scenes on a screen. I realized he had been calling me again and again and I never answered. Then Jesus looked at me with eyes that saw everything yet still loved. He said, "Layla, I have loved you since before you were born. I have been calling you, but time is short. You must tell them what you have seen." I opened my mouth to speak, but words failed. The world around us began to shift. The light grew brighter, then dimmed until we stood on what looked like a vast plain stretching beyond sight. Countless people were there, some radiant with light, others shadowed and weeping. A wind blew across that place, carrying the sound of trumpets from far away. I turned to Jesus, afraid, and asked, "What is happening?" He looked toward the horizon. "The hour is near, closer than many believe." I followed his gaze and saw the sky open like a scroll. A blinding light burst through, and I heard thunder that was not of this world. From the opening came multitudes of shining beings descending swiftly. Then I saw people rising from the ground, their faces glowing. I realized they were being taken, lifted upward toward the light. The earth trembled. Some who remained cried out, reaching upward, but they were not lifted. Their screams echoed through the air. I turned back to Jesus, shaking. "Lord, is this now?" He said, "It is soon, at the end of this year. Go and tell them. I am coming." Before I could speak again, a force pulled me backward. The sound of trumpets faded, the light dimmed, and the tunnel returned. I felt myself falling through darkness and then rushing wind. Suddenly there was a loud beeping, voices shouting, and I gasped for air. When my eyes opened, I was in a hospital room. My mother was clutching my hand, tears streaming down her face. A doctor stood beside her, stunned. He said I had been gone for 11 minutes. They thought I would not wake again. But I knew I hadn't just fainted or dreamed. I had died and I had seen Jesus. I had seen the moment that is coming. The rapture, the return, the end of time as we know it. And though I should have been terrified, what I felt most was mercy. He had given me another chance, not just to live but to warn. Since that day I cannot stop remembering his eyes, his voice calling my name, the power of that light. I know what I saw. I know who I met. And every heartbeat I have left is a gift to tell the world. He is real and he is coming soon. When I came home from the hospital, the world looked the same, yet everything inside me had changed. The air felt heavier, every sound sharper, as though creation itself was whispering a secret that no one else could hear. I tried to go back to normal life, but normal no longer existed for me. I would sit in my room at night, replaying every word Jesus had said. Time is short. Those words would echo until my chest ached. I knew I could not keep quiet, yet I did not know where to begin. For days I was afraid to speak. My family thought I was still weak from illness. My mother would come in with tea and recite prayers over me, asking God to heal my mind. She did not understand that I had been healed already, not in my body but in my soul. At night, when everyone slept, I whispered into the darkness, Jesus, if that was truly you, help me understand what you showed me. Every time I prayed that way, peace would fall over me like a blanket. It was not like anything I had felt before. No ritual, no memorized verse. It was living, breathing peace. A week later I began to dream. They were not like ordinary dreams that vanish at sunrise. They felt like journeys. In the first one I stood in a garden brighter than morning. Flowers shimmered in colors I had never seen, and a river ran through the air itself, not on the ground but like a ribbon of light flowing above me. I heard laughter, and when I turned I saw people clothed in white garments shining softly. Their faces glowed with joy that made me want to cry. I realized these were souls redeemed, people who had known Jesus and followed him. They moved with purpose, singing songs that made my heart swell. Then I heard his voice again behind me. Layla, this is what I have prepared for those who love me. I turned and saw him as before, radiant, gentle yet mighty. You are seeing a glimpse of heaven, he said. But there is more I must show you. His expression grew solemn. Many are not ready. The garden dimmed, and in an instant I was standing somewhere else. Somewhere cold and vast. Darkness stretched beyond sight. I heard cries that froze my blood. The ground beneath me pulsed like it was alive with sorrow. Figures moved in the shadows, reaching upward, calling for help that would never come. The sound of their weeping was unbearable. I cried, Lord, please, I cannot look. He said, Layla, you must see. This is what sin does when it is not forgiven. I did not create this place for mankind. I gave my life so they would not come here, but many still reject me. His words cut through me. I wanted to hide, to escape, but he held me close, not with hands but with love that wrapped around me like fire and light. I asked through tears, why did you show me this? He said, because mercy still speaks. Go and tell them that I am real, that my arms are still open. But the time of mercy is ending. The darkness faded and we stood again in light. In the sky above us a great clock appeared. Its hands were near midnight, trembling as if seconds were running out. A deep voice rolled through the heavens saying, the hour of fulfillment draws near. The sound shook the ground under my feet. I looked at Jesus and saw tears in his eyes. So many are not ready, he whispered. Tell them. The trumpet is about to sound. I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. My mother rushed in frightened. She asked what was wrong, but I could not speak. All I could say was, he showed me. He showed me what's coming. From that night on I could no longer stay silent. I started writing everything I had seen, every word I remembered. The more I wrote, the stronger the urgency grew inside me. It was not fear. It was love mixed with fire, as if his heart was beating inside mine. When I finally gathered the courage to tell my family, they stared at me as if I had lost my mind. My father said I was confusing dreams with reality. My mother begged me to stop talking about Jesus. But I couldn't. I had seen too much. I told them how I saw heaven, how I saw the lost, how he said the rapture would happen soon at the end of this year. They argued, saying no one knows the hour, but I told them, I don't know the day or the moment. I only know what he told me, that the time is near. Days turned into weeks, and though many refused to believe me, some began to listen. One of my cousins, a quiet girl who had secretly been reading the Bible, came to me in tears. She said, Layla, I believe you. I felt something pulling at my heart too. We prayed together that night, and as we prayed, a warmth filled the room. She cried, saying she felt peace for the first time in her life. That's when I knew the message was not mine. It was his, reaching those willing to hear. Since then I have had flashes of what's coming. Sometimes when I close my eyes I see the sky turning red, people running, the ground trembling, and the sound of trumpets echoing through the air. Sometimes I wake with tears on my face whispering, Lord, they're not ready. But each morning I also wake with hope because I know he's still calling people home. I am not the woman I used to be. I no longer live for religion or fear or the approval of others. I live for the one who touched my soul when I was beyond life. I tell anyone who will listen, I met Jesus. He is real. He loves you. And the time of his return is near. Every breath I take now feels borrowed. Every sunrise a reminder that mercy still has a little time left. I speak because I cannot stay silent, because I saw eternity and came back with one truth burning in me. There is no other name that saves, and he is coming soon. After those dreams, my nights were never the same. Sleep became a thin veil between two worlds, and even when I closed my eyes, I could still feel the presence of that light. Every breath reminded me of what I had seen beyond death, and every beat of my heart whispered the same truth. He is coming. I tried to silence it for a while, to live quietly, but the more I stayed silent, the louder the call grew inside me. It was as if heaven itself was urging me to speak. One evening I walked alone by the riverside, the sky painted in the colors of sunset. I remember stopping to watch the water move slowly, thinking about how fragile life really is. People passed by laughing, talking on their phones, planning their tomorrow. I wanted to stop them, to tell them that tomorrow might not come, that everything they were chasing could vanish in a single heartbeat. I lifted my face to the wind and whispered, Jesus, what do you want me to do? And I heard the same voice that had once called my name beyond the grave. He said, tell them I love them. Tell them I am at the door. So I began. I started recording short messages on my phone, speaking exactly what burned in my heart. I didn't try to sound religious or wise, I just spoke what I had lived through. How I died, how I saw him, how he forgave me. I posted them online not knowing if anyone would even care. To my surprise, people began to listen. Messages came from strangers across the world. Some mocking, some curious, some in tears saying they felt something move inside them. Many said they started praying for the first time in years. Each message reminded me that even a whisper can travel far when it carries the truth. But the more I spoke, the more resistance came. My relatives grew angry, friends avoided me, and whispers followed me through the market. I was called a traitor, a deceiver, a dreamer who had lost her mind. Sometimes the rejection cut deep and I would cry alone, asking God if I had made a mistake. Every time, peace would return, quiet and steady, reminding me that obedience is greater than comfort. One night as I prayed, I saw a vision again. The same clock from before, its hands now almost touching midnight. I heard the sound of trumpets faint in the distance, growing louder. Then I saw the earth trembling, cities crumbling, oceans rising, and people crying out in fear. I saw believers being lifted into the sky like streams of light joining the glory above. My heart pounded and I knew this was not a dream. It was a warning. When I awoke, I felt an urgency stronger than ever. The world outside seemed louder, wars, disasters, hatred everywhere. I watched the news and thought, this is what he showed me. People still laughed, still chased after money and fame, but I could feel the tension in the air, like creation itself was waiting for something to break. I knew then that the end of this year would not pass quietly. Something beyond all human control is drawing near. I began fasting and praying, asking God to help me stay faithful no matter what came. In prayer I felt him say, do not fear. The darkness will rise, but my light will shine brighter. Keep speaking until the last moment. Those words settled in me like fire. Since then, I no longer measure my days by hours but by souls. Every person I meet is someone who might still have a chance to hear. I speak to taxi drivers, to neighbors, to children in the street. Some listen, some laugh, but I keep going because I saw the truth with my own eyes. Sometimes late at night I walk to the roof and stare at the stars. I remember the feeling of being outside my body, the moment I met him, the way his eyes held both love and sorrow. I remember his final words, it is soon. And I think about all the people still living as though time will stretch forever. The weight of it presses on me, but so does the hope. Because the same Jesus who warned me also promised peace to those who believe. I don't know the exact day or hour. I only know the season, and the season is now. Everything he showed me points to the close of this year. Whether people believe me or not no longer matters. What matters is that I obeyed. I told them. I spoke. I loved. And I will keep doing so until he calls me home again. So if you're hearing my story, know this. I was once certain that Jesus was not real. I was wrong. I met him beyond death, and his presence was more real than this world we walk in. He is not distant. He is reaching out even now through my voice, through every heartbeat that still carries his message. Do not wait for signs in the sky. The greatest sign is already given. The love that reaches for you even while you're running the other way. Sometimes I still wake in the night with tears on my face, not of fear but of longing. Longing for the one who saved me, longing for others to know him before it's too late. And when the trumpet finally sounds, I will not be afraid. I will lift my face to that light I once saw, the same light that called me by name, and I will go home. Until then, I speak, I pray, I wait, and I hope you will be ready. Because he is coming, soon at the end of this year, and his mercy is still open now.